What if everything you've been taught about life, birth, and reality is a lie? What if before you were born, you knew everything about who you are and why you're here? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that all that knowledge, those truths you were once so sure of, has been wiped away, stripped from you before you could even enter this world. But here's the terrifying question. Who did this? And why? Across ancient civilizations, hidden scriptures, suppressed teachings, even forgotten mythologies, a chilling truth emerges. What if there's a system in place designed to erase your memories, keeping you trapped in a cycle of rebirth, always forgetting the deeper wisdom you once had? But here's the thing. Some people are starting to remember. They're awakening, breaking free from the veil of forgetfulness. And as more people begin to unlock this hidden knowledge, the question lingers. Did you choose this life, or were you forced into it? This isn't some fantastical myth or ancient folklore. It's a pattern that's encoded into our very history. From the Gnostics to the Egyptians to modern-day experiences of déjà vu and past life memories, every culture holds pieces of the same puzzle. A puzzle that, once solved, reveals not just who we are, but who we were before birth. And in this video, we're going to explore the truth behind these forbidden teachings. We'll ask the difficult questions. Who are the archons, and what role do they play in this cycle? Why is our memory erased when we're born? What's the truth about reincarnation, and what happens when we break free? Stick around, because the answers you're about to uncover might just change everything you thought you knew about your life, your birth, and your purpose here on Earth. It's time to break the chains that have kept us all in the dark. Welcome to the journey of awakening. Before we dive deep into the mysteries and teachings of the ancient world, I want to ask you one thing. Have you ever felt like there was more to life than what you've been told? That sense that something just doesn't quite add up? If you've ever felt that, you're not alone. The truth has been hidden from us for centuries, but now it's time to remember. So, let's begin this journey together. Let's uncover the mysteries of the past and discover how they shape our present, and ultimately, how they can set us free. This knowledge was not just about life on Earth. It was about the deeper mysteries of existence itself. Across ancient civilizations, hidden scriptures, and suppressed doctrines, a chilling truth emerges. Before you were born, you knew everything. You were fully conscious, aware of your purpose, your destiny, until everything was wiped away. But why? Who or what is behind this erasure? As we explore the accounts of the Gnostics, the Egyptians, and even Tibetan traditions, we begin to see a pattern, a cycle of forgetting, designed to trap us in a controlled existence. What if I told you that some individuals have broken through, that they've remembered what was erased? We know of ancient traditions where the soul was believed to enter the body with complete knowledge, only to have that knowledge systematically erased. The Tibetan Bardo Thodol speaks of the soul's journey, filled with wisdom, but when reincarnation happens, memories fade. In Greek mythology, the river Lethe washes away memories, causing the soul to forget its past life. But why? What is the purpose of this erasure? Is it to keep us from questioning, from rebelling, from remembering our true power? Take a moment and think. Could you have chosen to be born? Could your soul have made this decision, or was this a force beyond your control? Some believe that before birth, we make agreements to learn, to grow, to face specific challenges. These agreements are sealed with the price of forgetting who we truly are. Now, imagine what it would be like to remember, to suddenly awaken from this veil of forgetfulness. Would you be able to live your life the same way, or would everything change? Across time, the same question has been asked in every culture. What happened before birth? The Egyptians hinted at it in their mystical teachings. The Gnostics warned of powerful entities, the archons, that kept humanity trapped in the cycle of forgetfulness. And as the pieces begin to fit together, an uncomfortable truth emerges. The knowledge we had before birth was deliberately hidden. From reincarnation teachings to suppressed texts, there is evidence that points to an intentional erasure. If we knew the truth about our existence, would we still choose this life? Would we accept the roles given to us, or would we break free from the constraints of this earthly cycle? But here's where things get fascinating. There are individuals who have broken through the veil. Through profound spiritual experiences, memories of past lives have resurfaced. Ancient sages and mystics claimed that it's possible to remember, to awaken. Yet, doing so comes at a cost. If this is true, then one must ask, what happens when we recover what was lost? And are we ready for that responsibility? Now we must face one of the most disturbing possibilities. Ancient Gnostic texts warn about the archons, shadowy entities that control the fate of human souls. These archons are believed to be behind the system that causes the amnesia, the forgetting. They are said to manipulate the cycle of reincarnation, making sure that souls remain trapped in a loop, never recalling their true purpose. The archons are the guardians of the veil, the ones who ensure that we never remember who we were before birth. Some claim these entities work with an unseen hand, guiding our lives, ensuring we remain unaware of our true power and potential. Think about it. What if all the struggles, all the pain, the challenges you face in life are not random? What if they're part of a larger design, a design that keeps you from remembering the incredible truths that once belonged to you? If the archons exist, then the question becomes, how do we break free? But not all hope is lost. Throughout history, there have been individuals who have found cracks in the system. Some claim to have awakened from this forgetfulness, piecing together fragments of their past lives, remembering ancient wisdom that had been erased. These individuals serve as a beacon of possibility. Their stories are often dismissed, labeled as fantasy or delusion. But what if they are telling the truth? What if, through deep spiritual practices or near-death experiences, we too can break through and reclaim what was lost? The question remains, if we could remember everything, would we choose to live our lives differently? Would we make different choices, seek different paths? Or would we finally realize that we've been living the same cycles over and over again? The truth is, some individuals are already beginning to awaken. They are regaining what was once forgotten. But the more they remember, the more they realize that the system they are in, the one that keeps us in the dark, will stop at nothing to prevent others from remembering. So, as you continue to watch, ask yourself this. What would it mean if you could remember? What if the truth you've been searching for has been right in front of you this whole time? In many ancient traditions, the soul's journey after death is just as important as its journey before birth. The Tibetan Bardo Thodol, also known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, speaks of a spiritual realm that souls traverse after they leave the body. This is where the soul faces trials, encounters beings, and ultimately makes its decision about the next incarnation. But what if this journey is not just about choosing the next life? It's about remembering who you were before you entered this cycle. The Bardo teaches that the soul can experience enlightenment and liberation if it recognizes the true nature of its existence. However, most souls are overwhelmed by fear, illusions, and the pull of the earthly realm, which traps them in the cycle of rebirth. This idea aligns with the suppressed teachings of the Gnostics, who spoke of a similar process, the journey of the soul through a dark, illusion-filled world manipulated by the archons. The challenge, then, isn't just about living but remembering that you've lived before. What if death itself is not an end, but a moment for the soul to wake up, regain knowledge, and break free from the cycle of reincarnation? The concept of reincarnation is present in almost every ancient culture. From Hinduism to the ancient Egyptians, reincarnation was seen as a cycle of learning and evolution. But what if this cycle was designed not to help us evolve, but to trap us in an endless loop of forgetfulness? What if we were never meant to remember who we were, what we knew, or the lessons we've already learned? The idea of reincarnation suggests that we are given another chance to improve ourselves, to correct the mistakes of our past lives. But in this cycle, the soul is constantly wiped clean of its memories, leaving us to begin again with no recollection of our previous existence. What if reincarnation wasn't about progress, but about keeping us in a system of control? The evidence from ancient texts and modern accounts suggests that this might be the case. Souls are reincarnated, yes, but they are born into a world that has systematically erased all their memories, memories that could break them free from the system. This is a chilling thought. What if the very process that is supposed to bring us enlightenment is, in fact, keeping us in the dark? If we could remember, would we stop reincarnating altogether? Would we break the cycle? The archons, according to Gnostic teachings, are not just passive entities. They are active participants in the erasure of our memories. These beings are said to manipulate our perception of reality, guiding us through lives of confusion and ignorance. They create illusions, distractions, and false narratives that keep us from discovering the truth of our existence. It's said that the archons are the ones who keep the veil of forgetfulness in place, and they are particularly skilled at exploiting our fears, our desires, and our emotions. They know exactly how to keep us trapped in the material world, how to make us feel insignificant, helpless, and dependent on external forces. But here's the fascinating part. The archons are not all-powerful. They are bound by certain rules, and their power is not limitless. Their control depends on our ignorance, our inability to see beyond the veil. The moment we start to remember, their hold over us weakens. What if we could break the spell of forgetfulness? What if we could start remembering who we truly are, where we've been, and what we're capable of? That's the true power of awakening, the ability to see the archons for what they are and to escape their control. As we continue this journey of discovery, we begin to ask ourselves the most profound question of all. What would happen if we woke up? If we broke free from the veil of forgetfulness, could we regain the knowledge we once had? Could we return to the state of enlightenment that existed before birth? Many ancient mystics believed that true awakening came when the soul remembered its divine nature. When a person achieved this state, they could see through the illusions of the material world, transcending the fear, pain, and suffering that plague the average human existence. This is the true meaning of spiritual liberation, knowing that you are more than just the body, more than just the mind, and that you have the power to shape your reality. The Gnostics spoke of the divine spark within each of us, the part of the soul that is untouched by the archons and the veil of forgetfulness. This spark is what gives us the potential to awaken, to reconnect with the truth of who we are. But the journey is not easy. The path to remembering requires courage, introspection, and the willingness to see beyond the illusions of the material world. So ask yourself, are you ready to remember? Are you ready to face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable or challenging it may be? In the search for the truth, we must look beyond the mainstream teachings, beyond the stories that have been passed down for generations. Ancient texts, suppressed by those in power, contain the hidden knowledge we seek. The Gnostics left behind a treasure trove of wisdom, offering clues on how to awaken and break free from the cycle of forgetfulness. But these teachings were deliberately hidden, erased from history to maintain the power structures that control our world. The Egyptian mystery schools, with their deep understanding of the soul and the afterlife, offer another key. Their knowledge of the soul's journey before birth was not just spiritual, it was practical. They knew that the soul could be taught, that it could be prepared for the challenges of the material world. But this knowledge was suppressed because it threatened the established order. So, as we continue our journey, we must seek out these hidden teachings, whether in the form of lost scriptures, ancient rituals, or the stories of those who have remembered. The key to unlocking our true potential lies in the knowledge that has been hidden from us for so long. We may not have all the answers yet, but we are on the path to discovery. The more we learn, the closer we get to breaking the chains that have bound us. The truth is out there, and it's waiting for us to find it. The journey of life and death is one that has puzzled humanity for millennia. In many ways, it's seen as a natural cycle: birth, life, death, and rebirth. But what if this cycle isn't just a process of natural existence? What if it is, in fact, a prison designed to trap the soul in a never-ending loop of forgetfulness and suffering? In ancient texts, we see that death was never viewed as the end, but as a passage, a crossing. But as we delve deeper into the mechanics of life, we must ask, is this cycle truly a natural process, or is it a construct meant to maintain control over our souls? Are we living in a world that encourages birth and death to happen over and over, without any possibility of liberation? The Tibetan Bardo again offers a profound insight, that the soul, upon dying, has the opportunity to escape the cycle, but only if it's aware, only if it remembers. And herein lies the key. Most of us never realize that death is just another veil, hiding the truth from us. If we were to awaken, to truly remember, we would see that life and death are just two sides of the same coin, a coin that could be flipped, ending the cycle altogether. But the archons are always present, guarding this secret. They ensure that when we die, we forget. And when we are born, we start over, blind to the truths we once knew. What if we could transcend birth and death entirely? The idea of the divine spark is a concept found across many ancient traditions. The divine spark is the essence of who we are, our connection to the source of all creation. It is said that this spark resides within each of us, untouched by the veil of forgetfulness. But in order to tap into this divine spark, we must first awaken. The question we must ask is, what is this divine spark, and how do we ignite it? The divine spark is more than just a concept. It is the very foundation of our existence, the part of us that remains pure and untainted by the physical world. It's the part of us that remembers the truth, the part that can see beyond the illusions created by the archons. In the Gnostic tradition, the divine spark is described as something that can never be extinguished, no matter how much the archons try to control us. It is the light within us, and it is this light that guides us out of the darkness. By awakening the divine spark, we can break free from the constraints of the material world and regain access to the knowledge we once had. But the path to awakening is not easy. It requires deep introspection, spiritual practice, and the willingness to face the unknown. As we seek to reconnect with our divine spark, we must overcome the illusions that have kept us trapped for so long. The archons are not just passive beings, they are active architects of our reality. They use their power to create illusions, weaving a web of deception that keeps us from remembering who we truly are. They manipulate our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions, ensuring that we remain trapped in a material world, obsessed with fleeting desires and distractions. But the archons are not omnipotent. They rely on our ignorance to maintain control. Their power is rooted in our inability to see through the illusions they create. When we are unaware of their influence, we become puppets, reacting to external forces instead of acting from our true inner nature. One of the archons' greatest tricks is the manipulation of time. They create the illusion of linear time, making us believe that we live in a world of past, present, and future. But what if time is not what we think it is? What if the archons have distorted our perception of time to keep us in a constant state of forgetting? The moment we begin to question time, to see that it is an illusion, we start to unravel the archons' control. The more we awaken to the truth, the less power they have over us. And this, perhaps, is their greatest fear, that one day, humanity will remember who they are, transcend the illusion of time, and break free from the cycle forever. The process of remembering is one that holds immense power. It is the key to breaking free from the cycle of reincarnation, the illusions of the archons, and the confines of the material world. When we remember, we reclaim our true power. We reconnect with the divine spark within us, and we begin to see the world as it truly is, an illusion created by the archons to keep us trapped. But remembering is not easy. It requires a deep inner transformation, a shedding of the old self, the self that is bound by the illusions of the world. It requires a willingness to let go of everything we've been taught, everything we've believed, and to see the world through a new lens. The power of remembering is not just about accessing lost knowledge. It is about reclaiming our true essence, the essence that existed before birth. It is about awakening to the fact that we are not just bodies and minds, but souls with infinite potential. Once we remember, we are no longer bound by the laws of time, space, or the illusions of the material world. So, how do we begin the process of remembering? It starts with asking the right questions. It starts with questioning everything we know, everything we've been told, and everything we've believed. We must be willing to look within, to silence the noise of the world, and to listen to the whispers of our soul. As we continue on this journey of awakening, we must remember that we are not alone. There are many others waking up, too. Around the world, people are beginning to question the nature of reality, to see beyond the veil, and to remember the truths that have been hidden from them. This collective awakening is not just an individual journey, it is a global one. As more and more people awaken to their true nature, the power of the archons begins to weaken. Their control over humanity is slowly being undone, and the veil of forgetfulness is beginning to lift. This is a time of great change. The world as we know it is on the brink of a massive shift in consciousness. The age of awakening is upon us, and the more we remember, the closer we come to reclaiming our true power. But the path ahead is not without its challenges. The archons will not give up their control easily. They will fight to keep us trapped in the illusion, to keep us from remembering. But we are stronger than they realize. The divine spark within us cannot be extinguished. And together, we will awaken to the truth. One of the most insidious illusions created by the archons is time. We experience time as linear, moments that pass from past to present to future. This perception creates a sense of urgency, a feeling of, I must do this now before it's too late, or I must correct my past mistakes. Time becomes a cage, trapping us in the cycle of constantly chasing after a future that never truly arrives, while trying to escape a past that we can never change. But what if time isn't real? What if the past, present, and future are simply constructs that keep us locked in an endless loop of suffering and forgetfulness? What if, in truth, all time exists simultaneously, and the only thing that prevents us from perceiving it as such is the manipulation of our consciousness. The archons thrive on this illusion of time because it forces us to live in a state of confusion and anxiety. They keep us focused on the future, on what's coming, rather than on the present moment where true liberation lies. But by questioning the reality of time itself, we begin to unravel their control. Imagine for a moment, what would happen if you could step outside the prison of time and see everything at once? Your past, your present, and your future all laid out before you. You would no longer be bound by the constraints of the archons. You would no longer feel rushed or overwhelmed. You would simply be. Once we begin to understand the illusion of time, we can start to shift our focus to the only true reality, the present moment. The present moment is the only time in which we can truly experience life. It's where the divine spark resides, where we can reconnect with our authentic selves, free from the distractions of the past and future. The present moment is the doorway to awakening. When we are fully present, we are not weighed down by regrets or worries. We are not controlled by the fears and desires that the archons exploit. In the present moment, we are free to remember, to reconnect with the truths that have been hidden from us. This is where the real power lies. By being present, we can access the wisdom of the soul, the ancient knowledge that exists beyond the veil. It's in the stillness of the present that we can hear the whispers of our true self, guiding us on our journey of remembrance. The challenge, however, is learning to live in the present. Our world is filled with distractions that pull us away from the now. The archons use these distractions to keep us in a state of unconsciousness, constantly looking outside ourselves for answers. But when we focus on the present, we reclaim our power. The more we practice presence, the more we break free from the chains of the illusion. As we awaken and start to remember, we enter into a battle for our consciousness. The archons, aware of our growing awareness, will not allow us to escape their grasp without a fight. They will send their agents, whether in the form of fear, doubt, or external distractions, to prevent us from fully awakening to the truth. But this battle is not fought with physical weapons. It is fought within our own minds. The archons thrive on fear, for it is fear that keeps us imprisoned in the cycle. Fear of the unknown, fear of death, fear of change. These fears are the chains that bind us to the material world. The key to breaking free from the archon's grip is courage. Courage to face our fears, courage to challenge the beliefs we have held for so long, and courage to step into the unknown. As we shed our fears, we begin to see the truth of who we are. The more we confront our fears, the more we break free from the control of the archons. This battle is ongoing, but with each victory, we come closer to reclaiming our true power. The archons can only control us if we allow them to. Once we awaken, once we remember, we are no longer their prisoners. The ultimate truth we must remember is this: we are not our bodies, and we are not our minds. These are just temporary vessels, vehicles that our true selves use to experience the physical world. But our true nature is something far greater, far more expansive than we can even imagine. We are souls, eternal and divine. We are consciousness itself, infinite and boundless. The body and mind are merely tools for the soul to experience this reality, but they do not define who we are. The moment we realize this, we begin to transcend the limitations of the material world. The archons want us to believe that we are nothing more than our bodies and minds, that our thoughts and feelings are all that exist. This belief keeps us trapped in a limited perception of reality. But when we remember who we truly are, souls, infinite and eternal, we break free from this illusion. We are divine beings with the power to shape our reality, to create the lives we desire. But first, we must remember that we are more than just physical beings. We are not limited by the constraints of the material world. We are the creators of our own experience, and when we remember this truth, we become unstoppable. Now that we've begun to awaken, the question becomes, how do we live in alignment with the truth? How do we navigate this world, while remembering who we truly are and what we came here to do? The path to liberation is not a destination. It is a continuous journey. It requires constant self-awareness, a willingness to question everything, and a commitment to living in alignment with our divine purpose. Living in alignment with the truth means shedding the layers of conditioning that have been placed upon us by the archons and society. It means letting go of the false beliefs and stories that we've been told about who we are and embracing the truth of our soul's journey. To live in alignment with the truth, we must be willing to let go of fear, to let go of the need for approval, and to step into our own power. We must trust ourselves, trust our intuition, and trust that the universe is guiding us toward our highest good. This path is not always easy, but it is the path to true freedom. It is the path that leads us out of the cycle of birth, death, and forgetfulness, and into a life of remembrance, empowerment, and liberation. As more individuals begin to awaken to the truth, a powerful shift is occurring, not just in the minds of a few, but across the globe. People are waking up from the illusions that have kept them imprisoned, breaking free from the cycles of forgetting. This is not a solitary experience. It's a collective awakening that is beginning to change the very fabric of human consciousness. We are witnessing a new era, an age of enlightenment where the veil of forgetfulness is being lifted. As more people remember who they truly are, they begin to see the world in a different light. Fear no longer controls them, and they begin to live in alignment with their true purpose. The awakening is not limited to a specific culture or belief system. It is happening across all walks of life, transcending boundaries and bringing humanity closer to its divine essence. But the path to collective awakening is not without its obstacles. The forces of control, the archons, are aware of this shift, and they will fight to maintain their grip on humanity. They will attempt to divide us, to keep us trapped in fear and confusion. But the more we awaken, the more power we gain to resist their influence. As more individuals embrace the truth of who they are, the collective consciousness begins to rise. We are not just waking up for ourselves, we are waking up for humanity as a whole. And in doing so, we are ushering in a new era of peace, harmony, and freedom. In the journey to awakening, one of the most profound realizations is that we are not alone. We are all interconnected, united in our shared experience as souls, transcending the physical boundaries that divide us. The archons want us to believe that we are separate, that we are isolated in our individual struggles. But this is an illusion. When we recognize our connection to one another, when we understand that we are all part of the same divine consciousness, we unlock a tremendous power. This power is greater than the sum of our individual efforts. It is the power of unity. By coming together, we can amplify our collective awakening and break free from the illusions that have held us captive for so long. Unity is not about conforming to a single belief or practice. It is about recognizing our shared humanity, our shared divinity. It is about embracing the truth that we are all souls on a journey of remembrance, working together to free ourselves from the cycle of reincarnation and the control of the archons. When we unite in this shared purpose, we begin to see the world in a new way. We stop seeing others as enemies or obstacles, and instead, we see them as fellow travelers on the same path. And in this unity, we find the strength to challenge the systems that seek to keep us in the dark. As we awaken to our true nature, we begin to reconnect with the divine aspects of ourselves that have been suppressed for centuries. One of the most powerful forces in this awakening is the return of the divine feminine. The divine feminine is the embodiment of compassion, intuition, and nurturing energy. For centuries, this aspect of the divine has been repressed, overshadowed by the dominance of patriarchal structures and the materialistic mindset of the archons. But as we break free from their control, the divine feminine is returning, and with it comes a powerful healing force. The divine feminine is not just a gender or a role. It is an energy that resides within all of us, regardless of our physical form. It is the aspect of our soul that connects us to our intuition, to our emotions, and to the deep wisdom that exists beyond the intellect. When we reconnect with the divine feminine, we begin to heal the wounds of separation and fear that have plagued humanity for so long. This healing energy is not just about individual transformation. It is about healing the world itself. As the divine feminine rises, it brings balance to a world that has been ruled by fear, dominance, and control. It restores harmony, peace, and love, and it helps us reconnect with the earth and all living beings. One of the most fundamental illusions created by the archons is the illusion of separation. We are taught to believe that we are separate from one another, separate from the earth, and separate from the divine source of all life. But this illusion is the root of all suffering. The truth is that we are all interconnected. Everything in the universe is part of the same divine consciousness, from the smallest atom to the largest star. We are not separate from one another. We are all expressions of the same energy, the same divine spark. When we awaken to this truth, we begin to see the world differently. We no longer view others as other, as separate or different from ourselves. We begin to see them as mirrors, reflecting the same divine essence that resides within us. We stop viewing the world as a place of scarcity and division, and instead, we see it as a place of abundance and unity. This realization is transformative. It is the key to healing the wounds of the world, whether those wounds are personal, societal, or environmental. When we remember our oneness with all life, we begin to act in harmony with the earth and all beings, recognizing that our well-being is intertwined with the well-being of the planet and all living creatures. As we continue on the path of awakening, the journey is far from over. We have only just begun to remember the truth of who we are and what we are capable of. The archons are still present, still attempting to manipulate and control, but their power is waning as more people awaken. The key to our liberation lies in living in alignment with our divine purpose. Each of us has a unique role to play in the collective awakening. We are all part of a larger divine plan, and when we align ourselves with this purpose, we tap into an infinite source of power and wisdom. Living in alignment with our divine purpose means letting go of the ego's desires and stepping into the flow of divine will. It means acting with love, compassion, and integrity, not because it's expected of us, but because it's who we truly are. It means living in harmony with ourselves, with others, and with the earth. The path ahead is one of continual growth, transformation, and remembrance. As we walk this path, we will encounter challenges, but we will also experience profound moments of awakening. And in each moment, we will remember more of who we are and the divine purpose that guides us. The journey to liberation is not an easy one, but it is the most rewarding journey we can take. And as we continue to awaken, we will see the world transform into a place of peace, love, and unity, a place where the archons no longer have control, and where the divine light shines brightly for all to see. As we reach the end of this journey, remember that this is just the beginning. The path of awakening is a continuous process, one that will lead us to even deeper understandings, greater freedom, and a life lived in true alignment with our divine essence. We've explored the hidden truths of our existence, the forces that seek to keep us in a state of forgetfulness, and the power we have within to break free. The veil is lifting, and with each step we take in the direction of remembrance, we bring ourselves closer to a world where the illusions no longer control us. But this journey isn't one you have to walk alone. You are part of a greater movement, an awakening of humanity as a whole. Every time you remember, every time you share your truth, you contribute to the collective shift in consciousness. Together, we are breaking the cycle of forgetfulness and creating a new world where unity, peace, and love reign. So, I ask you once more, are you ready to live in the truth? Are you prepared to reclaim the knowledge that was once erased? The power lies within you, and by continuing to awaken, you will help shape the future of this world. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, you are not just a part of this story, you are the story itself. As you continue to walk your path, trust that you are guided, you are loved, and you are ready to break free from the illusions. Until next time, keep remembering, keep awakening, and keep living in alignment with your highest truth. If you enjoyed this journey, please consider giving this video a like, sharing it with others, and leaving a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for your support.